Hi, I'm Twylla Jane, CMBA ambassador, Redken artist, and salon owner of Lumos Salon in Naperville, Illinois. I'm excited to share with you guys. I've been doing a lot of, if you've been following on the CMBA channel and seen any of my videos, I've been doing a lot of undercuts. I love undercuts. I do a lot of short hair cutting. I love the versatility of undercuts. And today what we have is the reality of what a client might go through in the future with an undercut. They may want to grow it out. So here we have Robin, and Robin has been growing out her undercut for 6 months. So it's about 3 inches long now, I would say. We were doing a 2-guard on her before. You can see down here in the nape, we've got a little bit of her curls coming through. So what we're gonna work with today, me and Robin had a conversation before we started filming that we have about 3 options when we're growing out an undercut. We have the option to either make it a bob as it grows out, so either a blunt bob once the undercut starts to get to what's over it. We can do a graduated bob, so something that's stacked in the back, or we can do a little bit of a mullet or a mixie, if you will. So we decided to go with more of a French style bob. Right now you can see that the front of Robin's hair is hitting just above her jawline. I was telling her that I love her jawline. She has a beautiful face shape, so I think it's gonna be really pretty to sit this right here. So the first thing that we're going to do is establish a perimeter. So in the front here, I want to match up this length in the back. So we're going to bring this length up in the back. And before I actually go cutting into this undercut, I'm going to simply cut what used to be long on top. So as I start to lift this out here, you can see here is the hair that was longer on top, and here's where our undercut falls. The next thing that you're gonna notice is how much longer Robin's hair is in the back than the front. So that's a reason that a graduated bob can be a really nice shape on somebody growing out a pixie or growing out an undercut, because the back grows faster. You can see that over 6 months here that this really grew out back here. So let's go in and start to establish this length in the back. So I'm gonna base it right off of the front and pull, grabbing this hair that was originally in the top of the undercut. I'm gonna bring it down inside my hands and start to cut that length. And we're gonna follow this length around the back of the head. So what's important here, again, is that we're picking up this top layer. So first I'm starting to pull that hair out, let it fall down into my hands, pulling everything straight down. Notice I'm not wrapping it against the head, I'm letting it come out from the head. So bringing that straight down, elevated just slightly out from the head, and then cutting a straight line. Now, in a perfect world, when we get around to this right-hand side of Robin's haircut, we're gonna match up evenly. Well, let's see what happens. Okay, I'm also working with my dry cutting shears here. We went through and colored Robin's hair today. And I'll talk to you just slightly about that and how to grow out, you know, this type of hair and how to start coloring the undercut to make everything match. All right, so here we have it. We've got that perimeter in. Yes, it matched. And now we're going to start to go into the underneath of the hair. So right now what you can start to see is that up here, because of the undercut, there's a little bit of sparsity through this front, and the back is thick. Now this will fill in, and this is a conversation that I'll have with the guest, and me and Robin talked about this. In about 2 months, this undercut is gonna start to fill in down here, and we're just gonna maintain this really cute little French bob length on her for probably the next 5 or 6 months while the rest of this undercut grows out. Because if you look at this right now, here's the shortest part of the undercut, and here's the length of Robin's hair. So really we've got at about a 1/2 inch a month, 3 to 4 months of growth until all of this is even. Then we can let this shape grow down into a new shape. So right now what we're gonna do is I'm going to leave a guide, but I'm going to clip most of the top away. So I'm gonna leave a guide of what was on top. So here's all of our undercut. I'm gonna carve out about a 1/2 inch, and I'm gonna let this come down. This will work as our guide as we start to take off this length through the nape. And I'm working with, like I said, my dry 7-inch dry cutting shears. And I love these shears because, one, they stay sharp even when you're dry cutting. Your traditional wet cutting shears will get really dull over time if you continue to cut hair dry with them. So I am going to, I think This is the one pair of shears that I touch almost every single haircut I do. So I'm always detailing at the end of a haircut, and these are the ones that I reach for. So these are my favorite shears. So what I'm gonna do now is, you can see I'm starting to expose a little bit of Robin's hairline. And I'm going in, keeping everything nice and straight. We blow dried everything as smooth as we could. I'm gonna start to chip away at that length. So my goal is to have everything as one length as I can. But I know that as I expose some of this nape hair down here, there's going to have to be a little bit that stays soft. So what I don't want to do is like cut this all, shave that, and then make her look like a thumb. We don't want that. You don't want to look like a thumb, right? No. Okay, cool. All right, so I'm just slowly chipping away that hair that was in the undercut until I have a little veil left, and we'll detail this out with our Invisablend shears in just a moment. And now let's detail out a little bit of this nape here. So I'm gonna go through with my Invisablend. These are nice, they have 23 teeth, and the way that they are forged in here, it allows the hair to not get that like crazy hard line in it when you start to take the length off. So what I'm gonna do in here is just slowly take this length off, cutting up at a diagonal to keep everything soft. And then I will, most likely, take the razor just a tiny bit here. So once I've got this length off, I'm gonna go in and start to put in a little bit of layering. And then I'll set the guest up for, how long do we need to see them? How long till we need to see them again? Because sometimes people, I find that when people are growing out pixie haircuts, you go through a phase, and Robin, like, not if you agree with this, but like 1 week you'll be having a terrible week where you just want to shave your head, and then the next week you're having like the 7 best hair days of your life. And it's like, you just have to tell them that this is just like a wild journey that we're gonna be on, and like hats, headbands, accessories, whatever it is, but just like fight the fight with us. Once they decide that they want to take the journey to grow out their hair, like, I don't let them end it until I'm sure. If they've got doubts for a couple appointments about whether or not they can do it, then maybe at that 3rd appointment, I'll cut it off for them. But I'm never gonna cut it off the first time. I'm just gonna start to reshape it, tell them what to expect over the next couple months, and go from there. Okay, so now that we've got that length in, I'm gonna add some layers, and the last thing we're gonna do is go through and take out a little bit of weight wherever it needs it. So I'm gonna do square layering through this. And the first thing I'm gonna do is pull everything straight up through the back here. So I'm gonna pull it straight up. I've got a guide right here, and I'm just gonna work that through the front. So you'll see right away what this is going to start to do. So I'm gonna take a new vertical section, a little bit of my guide from the previous, combing everything straight up. So same vertical sections, looking at that guide right behind. So you can start to see already, we've got a little bit of pop in the top here. So this is great. Not too much, because we don't want to lose a lot of the strength that we still have in some areas. We just want to start to build in a little bit of shape. Okay, so that's generally my first plan of action, is like, okay, where did that stuff fall? I like that. I still have a little bit of heaviness down here. So what you may do next, if you want to take even a little bit more, add a little bit of layers, which I do. I'm going to take everything vertically again. This time, straight graduation again, pulling everything straight out from the head at 90. And I'm going to point cut deep into that. So I'm not cutting a straight line, I'm just looking to give a little texture inside there, a little bit more movement into the shape. Same vertical section, combing everything 90 degrees straight out from the head, and doing some deep point cutting through. The corners of the head tend to get really heavy when short hair is growing out. So here it is, look how heavy that is there. So taking out some deep V's of weight there. So now we should see that that loosened it up even just a little bit more. It collapsed this shape. It's not so full down here at the bottom. And when we start to fluff that out, that looks really nice. But it doesn't give us a graduated bob. It just gives us some lift and some texture through the shape. And I think too, as this starts to open up, it gives this little bit of weakness that falls through the front a continuation that makes sense through the back. without taking away too much hair. So straight graduation up, straight graduation out. I find that that's usually a really good step about 6 months in with the shape that you're doing. So now we're almost done. Easy peasy. If we want to give them a fringe, we can go through and trim that up. I would like to leave Robin's the way it is. So now all I want to do is take some weight out from underneath. So this time I'm going to go in with my Classic Series 14 tooth. This is another one of the shears that I absolutely can't live without since they came out. I feel like it's like I was missing a brush in my paint set and I didn't know what it was. I was missing a shear in my shear set and I didn't know what it was until Sam gave it to us, and it was this 14 tooth. And I like these because they have a really similar technology, I feel like, to the Invisablend, where they don't give you a really hard line. So while they can give you a lot of texture and a lot of weight removal, I don't find that I'm getting these hard steps in my haircuts, which I don't know about you guys. I don't think anybody likes those hard steps in a haircut, but I especially don't. Okay, so now as we look at Robin, she has a little bit of wave in her hair. So you can see that she gets a fullness underneath, and I blow dried this for her. We use the Sambia Ruby Red Signature Series blow dryer, and we used our Artist Series paddle to really smooth it out. We did a wrap dry to it, but even still, she's got some fullness from her wave. So what we want to do is take out a little bit of weight for her, so that it doesn't push out so much on her. So we're gonna go in at an angle and just start to remove a little bit of weight down here. So I'm gonna put my shears in, not quite knocked all the way back to the head. I'm gonna set them under the surface of the hair at a diagonal and start to remove a little bit of weight. So again, not setting my shear all the way to the head. What I wanna do is try to remove weight from the surface first, see how that goes, and then I can take more from underneath. But what I've found and what I've discovered in hairdressing, and especially on wavy hair, is that if I start this texture from the inside, it must be the way that I texturize hair, but I start to kind of build volume on the way out instead of removing stuff the way that I want. So I find that if I start in the surface, if that's not enough, move down a little bit deeper and work my way towards the interior, that tends to be a better method for me. So if you're someone that has that same struggle, try starting from the top. So I'm gonna go back the opposite way again, setting my shears in at a diagonal and starting to carve out some of that bulk. I really avoid right in front of the ear taking out any weight unless necessary, because this tends to be, you can see now, because of the hairline, the shape of all of this tends to not have a lot of strength to it. So the more that we take that out, the harder it is for them to grow out the front of their hair, which we already talked about grows slower than the back. So I am going to lift up this top layer and move down into this. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut up into the same angle that I was before. And that'll also, this is nice because it's giving a little bit of softness to this nape. Nice little quick haircut appointment for Robin. Let's see what shape we've got in here. With this too, a lot of times when they have a side part and the undercut is not as deep on one side, they'll typically tuck one side too, which will kind of hide that. But you can see here, when we did Robin's color, I started to add some highlights in around the face to pull that color down visually so that it doesn't look so much like she has an undercut that she's growing. So now we'll let Robin know that we'll see her again in about 3 months, unless anything's making her totally crazy and she needs to see us again soon. All right, here's our finished product. So we've got our nice little bob shape that we cut in, cleaned up Robin's neck here, took out that weight here through the nape, a little bit of layering, shake it out. Thanks for watching, and be sure to check out more of our education on Sambia.com, our YouTube, our Facebook, and our Instagrams. Again, I'm Twylla Jane, Sambia brand ambassador, Redken artist, and owner of Lumos Salon in Naperville, Illinois.